Okay, today's lesson is about urbanisation, and our goal is to learn why people live in urban areas rather than in rural areas. So by the end of the lesson, I want you to be able to explain what urbanisation is, explain why people move from rural to urban areas, and the key words we're going to look at are urbanisation, rural, urban, push and pull. So let's have a look at some of those key words and try and understand what they mean. Urban is a built-up area. An area basically that has lots of buildings, infrastructure, services, basically another word for cities and towns. Rural is the countryside. There's few buildings, few infrastructure, few services. Migration is just a movement of people. Population is just the number of people, and push and pull factors of reasons why people leave and go to certain areas. So why do people move from rural areas, as you can see on the left hand side, to big cities? Well, that's a really good question, and one that we've had a lot of history to explain. So basically it all started because of the Industrial Revolution, predominantly in Europe, where people were forced to move to where jobs were. In the countryside, machines were taking over, and as a result, people could only work in factories. These factories were located in big industrial towns like London, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool. And as a result, people started to move there. As a result, we get very overcrowded housing. Not very nice. People think that there's going to be better opportunities for them there. The big difference between rich and poor countries today is time. Places like Sydney, London, New York, London, Birmingham have had time to adapt to these massive changes of people arriving, whereas developing countries such as India, China haven't had that time, and as a result we get shanty towns and slums. The reasons why people move can be split into two factors. Push factors, which are things that make you want to leave, and pull factors are something what makes you attracted to a place. So our push factors could include lack of tertiary education, which means, after year 11, after year 10, there's no tertiary education, there's no year 11, 12, there's no TAFE courses, there's no apprenticeships. So young people in particular, leave. There's a decline in primary industries such as farming, fishing, mining, that type of thing. So people leave the area. And then there's few services, so people have to travel longer distances to go and see a doctor, for example. They're all factors that make people want to leave. There's not just three, there's hundreds of different reasons, but we categorise those as push factors. We then have pull factors. Pull factors attract people, so employment opportunities. Now, this isn't guaranteed, this is just what people perceive is a factor. So when I say employment, they're not guaranteed, that's why it's an opportunity. So there's more likelihood that people are going to get jobs. Generally, in urban areas, there are more services. There's more schools, there's more hospitals, so people's standard of life is likely to be better. And also there's better infrastructure. When we're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about roads, electricity, power, those type of things. Now, like I said in the previous slide, rich countries, Australia, the UK, USA, have had time to cope with that migration of people from rural to urban places, whereas developing countries, they haven't. And as a result, people don't get these pull factors in their cities, and as a result we get slums, we get shanty towns. We've had slums and shanty towns in Sydney, in London, in New York as well. Okay, that's the end of the lesson.